Back in Alpha 14 of 7 Days to Die, I did the very first heat map explanation video discussing how the heat map works in the game and how it goes about working towards summoning a zombie screamer, thus summoning a zombie screamer horde. Well, Alpha 21 is here and I figure it's time to do an updated version of the video. For starters, the heat map has nothing to do with heat or thermal temperature, heat and cold. It's all about the amount of activity that takes place in a certain amount of area. Activities such as shooting weapons, using tools, and several other things, and we'll cover what those actually do in this video. For starters, it's important to know what a chunk is in the game. A chunk in 7 Days to Die is a 16 block by 16 block area of land. It goes from bedrock all the way to sky. So picture the entire world made up of nothing of 16 by 16 squares, as if you see this one right here. Everything that happens within a particular square, whether it be over in this corner or that corner, all counts towards the same area. So shooting weapons, using tools, fire up your forge, all of those raises the heat map within this specific area. And once the heat map reaches level 100, it rolls back around and summons in a zombie screamer, this lovely creature right here. She wanders in towards the chunk where the heat actually registers from and starts to look for you. If she finds you and can see you, she will scream to summon in some more zombies. The number of screamer hordes, the number of zombies she spawned in are all based on your game stage, but basically all the way up to 5 zombie screamers can spawn at a time if your game stage is high enough. Now, I have tested out if the zombie screamer spawns in based on the heat and she can't find you, she won't scream. She'll eventually just wander around until she either gets lost or despawns from the world. But this is what you're trying to avoid. So let's show you what some of the things do that will and will not raise the heat map. Currently I have the debug menu enabled, so you can see over on the left hand side of the screen the current heat chunk I'm in and the percentage I'm in, and it tells you how many events there are, how many events that you've done that generate heat. You can see right now my percentage level is at 2.9. The general act of just building does not do anything to the heat map. You can place blocks, you can upgrade them to your heart's content, doesn't do anything. Where you start getting some of the heat buildup is when you start beating down some blocks. When you go through and break a block, it generates a half a percentage every block you break. You can see it go up to 3.4. Eventually, the heat will dissipate. Certain items raise the heat certain amounts and decrease, and they dissipate at certain amounts as well. The general act of just placing a torch does not raise the heat map up at all. Torches, candles, campfires, forges, just placing them doesn't raise the heat map up. Each item will raise the heat map by a certain amount based on how many you have and how long they've been in the game. For instance, an individual torch will raise the heat map up by 1% every in-game hour. So, if you have 4 torches every in-game hour, it'll go up 4%. But every 4 hours, it goes down 1%. So one torch will go up 4 times before it goes back down 1. So one torch is going to take a long time to be able to get to 100%. If you have a ton of torches, it will go up a lot faster. Same thing with candles. Anything with the flickering flames here goes up about 1% every single hour. So torches, campfires, candles, burning barrels, those go up about the same percentage for each one of those every single in-game hour. The 3 biggest contributors to the heat map in the game besides your player activities are the forge, the chemistry station, and the campfire. The forge goes up 6% every in-game hour. The campfire and the chemistry station go up 5% every in-game hour. Now all 3 of these will go down by 1% every 5 hours in-game. Now that's the in-game clock itself. So the forge goes up 6, the chemistry station and the campfire both go up 5. The reason why these are problems is because these are all things that we start recipes and then we just wander off. As long as they're running, they are generating towards the heat map. If they're turned off, they don't generate towards the heat map at all, even if things are sitting in queue. It's when they're running. Now, something else to keep in mind is I explained to you guys what the chunk is, a 16 by 16 square, and the entire world is made out of chunks. So we have one chunk, then we'll have one right next to it. Picture, like I said, an entire grid of squares all the way around the world. If you're generating heat in one chunk, you get a certain percentage within that chunk, but you can also get heat to bleed over. So if I generate 5 heat in this one chunk, the 4 chunks that are right next to it in a diamond pattern will also go up by a certain percentage, and that percentage is based on what items you're using. Now, things that do not generate the heat that you don't have to worry about. Crafting anything within your own inventory does not generate any heat. Using and reading books and magazines, that doesn't generate any kind of heat. Repairing items within your inventory does not generate any heat. It's every single thing that you do as a person outside. Using tools, using weapons, that sort of thing. Now, there's two small caveats to the way the heat works when it comes to using tools. The chainsaw and the auger. Both of these will generate heat when you click the button. So if you just tap the button one time to actually use either one of these, so you just tap it, that's when it raises the heat percentage up. If you just hold down the button like you're chopping down a tree, it doesn't raise the heat map up the whole time it's running. It only goes up while it's being tapped the single time when you first click to use it. So if you're trying really hard to generate the heat map to go up, all you have to do is pick up one of these tools and just keep tapping it like that, and it'll just keep raising the heat map up. You can see it goes up a full percentage every single time I tap it. But if I just hold it down, it's not doing anything at all. So that's pretty much it, the bare basics of the heat map system. I've done a lot of tests over the different alphas over what does and does not raise the heat map up. If you want to go check any of those out to get a little bit more in-depth over, say, torches or campfires or burning barrels or things of that nature, you can check those out for more specifics. This is more of an overview. So, if you don't want to attract one of these colorful idiots to show up at your house uninvited with her party of friends, just kind of keep an eye on how much heat you're generating with all of the basic level stuff that you do here. Build to your heart's content, but turn your workstations off when you're not using them. Hopefully this video was useful to you guys. If it was, do me a favor and leave a like on the video. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe if you're not already so you don't miss it on future videos. In the meantime, you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you later.